Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're looking at another small ship gone wild, and I've been looking at a lot of these over the last few weeks, and I have to say they are absolutely amazing. If you don't like a small ship gone wild, then there's got to be something where you're going, I don't like small ships gone wild. What are you talking about? Well, no, small ship gone wild are by far one of the best things, and they're a combination of both the small ship blocks with the large ship blocks to make a ship sort of category that falls into no category at all. It is just an ingenious design. It's amazing. Anyway, this is the USEA Katniss by USEA. Now, this little ship here features some really nice design aspects as well as a beautifully designed interior, and I'm going to take you around and show a little bit of it today. So let's start with the front and the cockpit. So you see we've got this reverse sort of glass cockpit, so you can see into it as easily as you could see out of it, and the detail in there is absolutely astounding, but I'll have to show you that when we get in the inside. Now you can see how the outside is done a little bit of a roll cage that leads you into some spotlights and a whole variety of dangerous armaments around the ship. Now as we come underneath, you'll notice that we've got a number of these sort of air fans, so maybe it has some sort of land-based vertical takeoff sort of capability if it was sort of earth side, as you could say. And he's also used the letter blocks to show some sort of air intakes and other areas, and he's got them lovely little tilted thrusters. Now the thing I love about these sort of large ships, or small ships you could even say, gone wild, is the detail that people put into the piping, the venting and the sort of circulation. Since them small ship blocks allow for that extra level of detail, it is all there. Now as we come to the back, we have a little bit of a ladder, and this little ladder gives us access to the top of the ship if we do so to wish. So we can go up there, and on top we have a window and a secondary access port. Very cool indeed. But let's actually go to the primary access port, the one down below. So you can access it with this button here between the two massive cannons. You can hear the lovely cue. The airlock is depressurizing, the ladder is lowering down, and we are ready to get aboard this thing. So let's actually raise it. Oh, thank you for welcoming me aboard. Doors closing, air is pressurizing. We've got some lovely little buttons. Let's actually turn the airlock lights on. So airlock lights are now on. Door below is sealed so we can actually stand up, and we've got doors to living quarters, so let's open that up and actually have a look into living quarters. Now you can see the pressurization of this room is all controlled by these speakers, giving that little bit of an audio edge to the area. So we're going to turn the lights on in the living area by going and accessing that next. So living quarter lights, turn them on, and you can see this place is illuminated itself. We'll start here. Now the bunk beds themselves have something that I really wanted to see someone do, and they finally have done it, and they've added like little bits of life support for the individuals in them, so you could like track them as they are sleeping. Now inside here we have one of the most necessities of every room, every ship, is a space toilet. And while you're on the space toilet, you can also look at the latest news. So you can see we've got some silicone trading that's doubled in price, just what you want to know when you're on the space toilet. Now next up we have a little bit of a shower, and you can see here we have some sort of desk with a number of different monitors, and it doesn't just stop there. We can also add a table light, so you can see it illuminates the table, so as I was sitting there you could read your books, do your stuff. And you can see as we turn that on, we've got average material cost, trading, so this is like a trading sort of computer system, it seems like that. And you've also got the access to turn the gravity on and off, as well as a beautiful little air vent on top. Now as we walk past the shower, and you can see we've got a sink and a medical station all confined into this small area. And this is pretty cool indeed. Now this is a little bit of a prison cell for a prisoner that you might capture, maybe a bounty hunter sort of ship this could be. And the prisoner aboard has a little bit of a bed and some lights to access, as well as a turret and the camera, so you can keep an eye on him while you're flying. So we've got a little bit of a red illumination light, and we have some news information, so the prisoner can of course find out about the news as he's lying here waiting to be taken to the closest military outpost. So let's actually close that back up and we'll enter the maintenance area. So as we go into the maintenance area, you can see we've got a little bit of a change in style. This room is really compact. Now from reading the overall sort of design of these ships, most of them run on battery power. Now this one has a little bit of a backup generator here, and this is where most of the timer blocks and other useful items are stored. You see we've got a projector block in there. Very interesting. So we can actually turn the reactors on from in here. We've also got access to the gravity inventory screen, and we can cycle through these screens here to see just what we've got aboard, what we might be transporting that day, so you can get a nice clear picture of it. So let's seal that up and we'll head over to one of the most detailed rooms. That's the actual cockpit. Now one thing we're going to go past before I miss it is we also have access to this roof here, and this gives us a little bit of a window out to the stars. Seal that back up and we'll head on through this door. Now you've got to use these switches because everything is timer linked up, so you've got to be really careful with each button press, and we'll seal that, and we'll seal this, and now we're in the set cockpit. This cockpit is very well detailed. Now it's not the most overly complicated that I've seen so far, but it gives you the information you need. So let's turn some lights on in here, and the next little button, so you can actually see they're all labelled here. I just remembered which button does what. Now the next button we're going to do is actually turn on the ship. So you can see the screens are folding out, displays are folding out. Over this side we have some sort of navigational system with a star map and controls for jump speed. So that's an FTL drive, and we've got a current target for the FTL drive. On this side we have some communications relay. Now this could be a monitor, maybe to pick up communications from an antenna or something, or another person appears on it and says, "What are you doing in my space sector?" And you reply with him, "I'm here to take you back to prison." Oh, okay, sorry, I'm getting a bit carried away now. This is awesome. So you can hear the engines actually started up, and we'll actually get aboard this thing. You've got a speaker in the middle, you've got 2 seats, you've got one for the communication man and one for the actual pilot here himself. So I'm going to just actually power this down. So by powering that down, you can see that all the monitors have actually gone off, and the lights have kind of reversed themselves because I used the switch, and there we go, you can actually see that's gone back there. And I'm just going to quickly activate the lights for myself, and you can see we've got some long range weapon targeting data, ship status, and some more information that we need. Just really cool little features. Now we don't actually retract the landing gears, that's a 2-stage. So the first thing is to disable the locks. Second stage is to retract them into the hull. That is a little bit more of a time consuming process, and while that's doing we can actually see if we've left anything out on the ship before we take off. It looks pretty good. Engines are up, we've got the camera, we've got the antenna on the top, so you can send the secret laser messages. It looks like they've retracted into the hull. Now the second part of the hull retract is actually the seal, and we might be able to get a perspective of it here. The actual gears come out and start sealing the landing gears off to protect them, as well as locking them in place because they're on a piston based system. So we'll wait for them to seal off, and then we can actually take this thing for a little bit of a spin. So one of the biggest problems that I run into with small ships gone wild is the immovability and the sort of agility of the ship when it's actually taken off from the platform. And this one seems to hold a lot of its agility and maneuverability purely because it's locking all the moving systems in place, and it's not got a ramp or anything funky really to run into a large problem with. So let's actually have a look at some of the weapon systems. We'll cycle through the tabs. So we've got the twin rocket pod. Well, that's not the twin rocket pod, that's the auto cannon. But just look at that, wow. It's so cool from all perspectives. So we'll also go into the camera at the front so you can get them a little bit better aim shots. And we've also got the massive 12.8 cannon. So let's actually switch out of that into the first person. And you can just imagine what sort of devastation that would cause to another ship. Now the next thing we want to look at is the rockets on the front. So these are quite simple, just a basic sort of triple rocket pod. You see how the power output and systems are refreshing as we're moving along, and it's giving us our ship's location so we can easily pump that into a GPS. Really, really cool, as well as status of our weapon systems. Now for instance, if we move on to the next tab and we press number 1, you can see how we've disabled a number of our weapon systems. And if I move to the next tab, this is going to give me our warning lights. So as I press that, you can see we've got warning lights functioning. Now the next thing is number 3. So number 3 is actually, well, that's number 2. That's actually accessing our connector pod at the bottom, so it extends it down so it connects up to another vessel. And then we've got a little bit of a camera on top, so we can see around. Just really cool little features add into that extra level. And then finally we have a number 8 that is disabling our sort of docking landing procedure lights. Really, really cool. We've also got a beacon there that we can add in case of emergency. And finally some spotlights and the very necessary rear reverse camera. Now this is another absolutely beautiful ship that is available on the Steam Workshop if you want to check it out for yourself. But hopefully it showed you a little bit of something to inspire you to do one of your own builds, and I will see you